We turn tonight to the race for City Hall. The latest polls show Christine Quinn and Bill de Blasio tied for first. But what a difference a few weeks make. Less than a month ago, it was Thompson and de Blasio who were tied for third. In the battle of the Bills, has de Blasio's gain been Thompson's loss? We spoke about that and more when we interviewed New York City candidate for mayor Bill Thompson earlier today. I begin this way. Is Bill de Blasio surging at your expense?
Dominic, I think that, my campaign, and that's exactly what I'm focused on. I'm continuing to reach out to voters across the city of New York, speaking about the issues that face the future of New York City, talking to them, the voters about education issues, talking to them about making sure New York City stays a safe big city, talking about jobs, talking about affordable housing. I think in the end, I'm very confident that voters are going to be with me, and I'm going to wind up, if I don't get 40% on primary day, I'll be in a runoff.
Mr. Thompson, during the last campaign for mayor, people said that you didn't have the fire in the belly, and it seems that that plagues you even today. Why is it that you're perceived that way by some?
I think that more is my opponents who will continue to push that idea. In 2009, it was the Bloomberg campaign trying to distract people away from the campaign, away from my candidacy. I'm out there each and every day. Those who have been out there with me, those who have seen my schedule, know that I'm probably working harder than anybody else. So that's a false notion, and I think the voters of New York City have seen through that. So I'm not concerned at all. If anything, when you talk about fire in the belly, I think that people in the city of New York have known over the years. I've always stood up and fought for them and taking on the fight when it needs to be fought. So I'm not concerned about those notions being pushed by other campaigns.
Mr. Thompson, has it been smart for Bill de Blasio to put his biracial family at the heart of his campaign? Do you question him putting his biracial family at the heart of his campaign?
Oh, absolutely not. I think that, Bill is proud of his family, just like I'm proud of my family, just like others are proud of their families. And so I see no harm in that. I think that, we all are proud of our families and want to get, and where they're comfortable, we want them to be out there and letting the voters of New York City see who they are. So no, I do not think it is a publicity stunt at all.
Okay, well, you mentioned this a bit in the beginning, but will there definitely be a runoff, and are you definitely one of the two Democrats in that primary runoff race?
My campaign continues to surge. If you look at people across the city of New York, they're getting on board. We're building momentum and energy, and we're moving forward towards September 10th. So I'm very confident we are working to try and get to 40%. I mean, I think that, you continue to reference poll numbers, and the polls we've seen in the past continue to be inaccurate, continue to be wrong, continue to underestimate my strength. They did it in 2009. They continue to do it again. I'm not worried about that. I'm very confident that I'm moving forward. We're moving forward strongly, hopefully to 40% on September 10th. If not 40%, I'm definitely going to run off.
Mr. Thompson, I close this way. You have a tight schedule tonight. The issue of stop and frisk, it seems to be working well for Bill de Blasio as he's gone to the top of the polls. But are you concerned that crime might rise under a mayor, Bill de Blasio?
Look, I think the thing that I'm concerned about is making sure that New York City stays a safe city, and that safety be extended to every community in the city of New York. I believe every community is entitled to safety and security. So, the one thing is I haven't focused on others. I'm going to make sure that I keep New York City safe. We're going to make sure that we can create that balance between keeping the city safe and making sure that people's civil rights aren't violated. I agree with what the federal judge said. I think people have been targeted and profiled. I think it is wrong. I'm going to make sure that, we end profiling. I'm going to make sure that stop and frisk is used appropriately. I'm going to make sure that New York City is kept safe, and that each and every neighborhood is entitled to that safety. So I'm confident I'll be able to keep New York City safe. I don't know about others. I know that I will be.
How are you going to do that, Mr. Thompson? How can you keep crime low and continue to focus on stop and frisk? And as I close, what do you say to critics that also say about you that Bill Thompson is too much of a nice guy to be mayor of New York?
A couple of things. I think that the things that I want to do when it comes to keeping crime down, I think it's everything from increasing the number of police officers over a period of time to get to around 37,000 officers. I think secondly, it is putting those experienced officers in high crime neighborhoods. I think it's bringing back a new era of community policing, officers on the grounds in the neighborhoods, working with people, working with the communities to respond, to repair those bonds that have been frayed between community and police, but also to make sure that they're part of daily life in our communities. I think it is making sure, as I said, experienced officers are in high crime neighborhoods, all of those things together, and also making sure that stop and frisk isn't misused and abused and people's rights aren't violated. If we do all of those things together, we can keep New York City safe. I know that I can. And when, as far as being too nice a guy, I think I'm a good human being. At the same point, when it comes to standing up and fighting for the people of this city of New York, when it came to taking Rudy Giuliani on when I was president of the Board of Education and fighting for the right chancellor, when it came to taking Mike Bloomberg on, the richest person in the city of New York, in 2009 and almost beating him, I'm not too nice a guy, and that was a fight that I undertook on behalf of the people of the city of New York to move this city in the right direction. I'm back in 2013. I am not concerned about being too nice a guy. I'm always willing to take the principled fight on behalf of the people of this city, and to lead with leadership that listens, but is strong enough to be able to listen, but also move forward decisively and directly. So I'm not concerned about that either.
And so that's one of the questions. Is Bill Thompson too nice a guy? But before you respond, let's talk about what has this campaign red hot right now, and that's this commercial from candidate Bill de Blasio featuring none other than his own son.
I want to tell you a little bit about Bill de Blasio. He's the only Democrat with the guts to really break from the Bloomberg years. The only one who will raise taxes on the rich to fund early childhood and after-school programs. He's got the boldest plan to build.
And so apparently that afro is working for de Blasio. The fact that he has a biracial family, his wife African-American. She's talked about some lesbian experiences in Essence magazine in the past. I'll start with you, Professor Zaino. You were quoted nationally today in a news service. Is de Blasio the man to beat right now? Are these two latest polls accurate?
You know, I'm still reluctant to say he's the man to beat. You know, he has definitely come up, and I think he owes a lot of it to his outer borough presence. I also think this commercial was really strong, but it doesn't explain the polls because the timing is off on that. But I think, listen, he has run a smart campaign. He knows the demographic he has to go over to win. 58% of the turnout will be non-white. That is the demographic he needs to win in
58%.
58% is the prediction, and so that is the demographic he needs to win to get at least to get into the runoff, if not to win the thing straight out, which I doubt he would be able to do. So I think he's running a smart campaign. He's been targeted and he's on message. I thought the last debate he did a really nice job staying on message.